Hi everyone, my name is Jen. I'm doing this for a school project. Please feel free to leave feedback, and if I didn't mention any facts correctly, let me know. Links to all sources are listed in this description. Alright, weird law number 1. In Newark, New Jersey, they require security for ice cream customers. After 4 p.m., any business selling ice cream with an outdoor area accommodating 20 or more customers must have a security guard on duty. This law was enacted in 1989, and the penalties are steep. Fines can reach up to $1,000 for each offense, with every day of violation counting as a separate offense. Interestingly, it appears this law has never been enforced. It seems that it might have originated due to concerns about safety in Newark, but why specifically target ice cream shops? Why not bakeries? My guess is that a significant crime occurred at an ice cream store in the 1980s, leading to this particular law. The moral of the story is, be careful in Newark. Weird law number 2. In Little Rock, Arkansas, they have an ordinance stating that no person shall sound the horn on a vehicle at any place where cold drinks or sandwiches are served after 9 p.m. This law is found in Chapter 18, Section 54, and was enacted before or around 1961, as it appears in the city code from that year. Little Rock also has ordinances preventing loud honking in Chapter 18, Section 52, which states that if a vehicle is not in motion, no unreasonably loud or harsh sounds should be made. It's interesting, though, that they made a distinction for sandwich shops. The penalty is an unspecified misdemeanor, likely a low-level Class C misdemeanor, typically resulting in a fine. But this ordinance seems to have never been enforced. The intent may have been to maintain tranquility and quiet after hours. Weird law number 3. In Meriden, Connecticut, it's illegal to sell or offer silly string to minors unless accompanied by a parent or legal guardian, according to Chapter 175, Section 2. Enacted in 2002, violations result in a $99 fine and the cost of cleaning up any damage caused. The law arose because kids were creating messes with silly string, one specific incident being the 1996 Apple Harvest Festival, where kids sprayed silly string all over shop windows, sidewalks, band members' uniforms, and motorcycle cops. Though a hot topic back in the day, the penalty doesn't seem to have been enforced. Weird law number 4. Iowa mandates that imitation butter can only be sold under the name oleomargarine, as outlined in Title V, Chapter 192, Section 143. This law likely dates back to the early 1900s, after the Federal Oleomargarine Act of 1886 was passed to distinguish margarine from butter, protecting the dairy industry from competition. Although the Oleomargarine Act was repealed in 1950, Iowa maintained its law, likely due to its strong agricultural heritage. Penalties include a simple misdemeanor, with fines ranging from $150 to $180, and possible jail time of up to 30 days. However, the debate over butter versus margarine has waned, and at most stores, margarine is simply labeled as margarine instead of oleomargarine. Weird law number 5. North Carolina has a law in Chapter 14, Section 79.2, which makes it unlawful to steal waste kitchen grease. Enacted in 2012, the penalty for stealing under $1,000 worth of waste kitchen grease is a Class 1 misdemeanor, the most severe type, carrying up to 120 days in jail. If over $1,000 is stolen, it becomes a Class H felony, punishable up to 39 months imprisonment. This law was created because waste kitchen grease is surprisingly valuable for biodiesel production. Prior to this, thieves could easily access grease from restaurant bins. The law has been enforced in several cases, including a 2019 incident reported by WBTW News 13, where police uncovered a cooking oil theft ring that stole $4 million worth of grease, involving an operation spanning North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and New Jersey. Although this law sounds funny, it serves a vital purpose for restaurants and grease recycling companies. Number 6. In Tennessee, it's a Class C misdemeanor to unlawfully import a skunk, according to Title 70, Chapter 4, Part 2. Enacted in 2018, this law carries a maximum penalty of a $50 fine and up to 30 days in jail. It was created to protect public safety since skunks are known carriers of rabies, and their spray can cause significant odor and property damage. While many states have laws regarding the importation of exotic wildlife, it's interesting that Tennessee specifically addressed skunks, likely due to a local incident. This law doesn't seem to have been enforced. Number 7. Arkansas takes pronunciation very seriously. While not technically a law, it's a formal discouragement of mispronunciation. Back in the early days, two Arkansas U.S. senators disagreed on how to pronounce a state's name. One favored Arkansas with SAW, while the other preferred Arkansas with SAS. In 1881, the state's General Assembly passed Resolution 1-4-105, declaring that the state's name shall be spelled Arkansas, but pronounced Arkansas. This shows just how often the name is mispronounced. Number 8. In Arkansas, it's illegal to buy or sell blue light bulbs, as outlined in Title V, Chapter 77, Subchapter 2. At first glance, this law might seem strange, but is intended for public safety to prevent the potential misuse of blue emergency lights, which are exclusively for state law enforcement. Enacted in 1997, Arkansas State Police are responsible for regulating the sale and transfer of these lights. Violating this law is classified as a Class C felony, with a maximum penalty of 10 years imprisonment and a $10,000 fine. You might wonder about the legality of red lights on cars. Well, yes, it's also illegal under Arkansas law to place amber or red flashing lights on your vehicle. This law addresses the impersonation of law enforcement, a serious issue across the country, and it is regularly enforced. Number 9. In Waterloo, Nebraska, Chapter 3, Section 212 limits residents to no more than 3 dogs or 5 cats. This law likely coincided with the introduction of the Pet Avocation Permit in 2018, which requires a permit to own more than 8 pets. This permit aims to regulate pet ownership for sanitation purposes and ensure proper care and living conditions for animals. In Waterloo, if you have up to 3 dogs or 5 cats, you don't need a permit. But if you exceed that limit, you must apply for one, costing $100 for the inspection fee and $50 for annual renewal. Penalties for exceeding pet limits can result in a $200 fine payable to the Animal Control Authority. While there haven't been recent news articles confirming enforcement, it appears Waterloo takes animal control seriously. Number 10. In New York, it's illegal to throw a ball at someone's head for fun, under Penal Law, Chapter 40, Part 3, Title N, Section 245.05, enacted in July of 1965. This law was established to prevent reckless endangerment from high-speed throws. The law's origins stem from racist carnival games, such as African Dodger, where players threw projectiles, including eggs and baseballs, at a target, a black man exposed behind a backdrop. These games often resulted in serious injuries, as carnival workers faced unsafe treatment and were subjected to abusive behavior for entertainment, leading to incidents where the players caused workers head injuries and knocked out their teeth. The law aims to protect individuals from being deliberately harmed for amusement. Violating this law is punishable by up to 15 days in jail. While no specific arrests have been made for throwing a ball at someone's head, such actions could be classified as assault, which carries criminal charges. Number 11. In Ohio, judgment debtors may not be arrested on Sundays or the 4th of July, according to Section 2331.12, enacted on October 1, 1953. Judgment debtors are individuals or businesses ordered by the court to pay money to another party, often due to missed payments or court appearances. This law was established to preserve Sundays, a day of religious observance, and the 4th of July, a major holiday, for rest. Nowadays, this law isn't commonly enforced because most debts are collected through wage garnishment or property liens. Weird Law Number 12. In Louisiana, it's illegal to send surprise deliveries, as stated in Title 14, Section 68.6, enacted in 2018. At first, I was puzzled, because I thought that surprise deliveries were meant for gifts. However, this law specifically targets packages sent as a means of harassment or deception. The penalty can be up to $500, 6-month imprisonment, or both, along with possible restitution. This legislation is part of consumer protection laws aimed at preventing fraudulent schemes, such as brushing scams, where companies send unsolicited items to steal personal information for fake reviews. These scams are a significant issue, prompting warnings from the U.S. Postal Inspection Service to monitor credit card bills closely if personal information is compromised. Number 13. In New Hampshire, it's illegal to collect seaweed at night. This regulation is found in Chapter 207, Section 48, and was codified in 1973, although its origins date back to the 1700s. At that time, farmers would haul seaweed to use as fertilizer for their crops, and some sources state that the law aimed to ensure fair access for all by prohibiting nighttime harvesting. However, the University of New Hampshire suggests that this law is primarily for public safety reasons. However, the law seems outdated, with penalties for violations up to $1,000, although enforcement is rare. Students at a New Hampshire middle school have nominated it for repeal, and in 2018 a representative filed a bill to do so, but it was deemed inexpedient to legislate, leaving this regulation in effect till today. Number 14. In Pennsylvania, psychics and fortune tellers are illegal under Title 18, Section 7104. This law dates back to the 1800s but was officially enacted in 1973, classifying violations as a third-degree misdemeanor with penalties including fines up to $5,000 and imprisonment for up to 90 days. It was established as a consumer protection measure against fraud, particularly targeting scammers who preyed on vulnerable individuals, such as the elderly grieving the loss of a partner. There have been cases of enforcement, including a recent arrest in 2023 for theft by deception involving tens of thousands of dollars. While the law aims to protect consumers, it appears to selectively target fraudulent activities rather than banning psychics providing entertainment services. A current federal lawsuit challenges this law, initiated by a tarot card business asserting their First Amendment rights to freedom of speech, claiming that such practices are a form of expression. The lawsuit also argues that the law discriminates against women and Romani people who are often associated with fortune telling. Number 15. According to the Las Vegas Municipal Code, Chapter 11.68.100, hula hooping with hoops larger than 4 feet in diameter is prohibited in the pedestrian mall. Enacted in 2010, this law was a response to congestion and pedestrian traffic issues. The law was sparked by an individual who used a large hula hoop to attract attention and rent out smaller ones without a permit. Although violations are classified as misdemeanors, enforcement appears minimal. Following the law's implementation, activists protested by hula hooping at City Hall, leading to some council members joining in, indicating a general acceptance of standard-sized hoops, while larger ones remain restricted. Number 16. In Glendale, California, Chapter 10, Section 64.010 prohibits jumping into moving cars. The exact enactment date is unclear, but the law likely aims to enhance public safety and prevent reckless behavior. While the law seems to be less commonly invoked on its own, it may come into play during criminal situations, such as carjackings or resisting arrest. Number 17. Under Title 9, Section 4.050 in Indian Wells, California, it's illegal to get high from sniffing cement. Enacted in 1968, the law addresses public health and safety concerns, particularly regarding youth. It's classified as a misdemeanor, though there is little evidence of enforcement. The law targets substance abuse issues, such as inhaling adhesive, which often include toluene, which can produce euphoria and relaxation, but pose serious health risks. Number 18. In Indiana, under Indiana Code Title 14, it's illegal to catch fish using dynamite. Enacted in 1995, this law aims to protect aquatic ecosystems from significant damage caused by explosives, which can destroy juvenile fish in their habitats. Violators face misdemeanors and potential restitution for wildlife damages. While specific arrests related to this law are rare in Indiana, blast fishing has been a major issue globally, as evidenced by a recent case in the Solomon Islands involving multiple arrests. Number 19. Bergen County, New Jersey upholds Sunday closing laws, leading to the closure of many stores on Sundays. While many areas have repealed or relaxed these laws, originally rooted in religious values, Bergen County remains one of the few places to enforce them, despite hosting some of the nation's largest retail stores. The 1959 New Jersey Sunday Closing Act gave counties the authority to decide on these laws, and a 1986 amendment allowed municipalities within these counties permitting Sunday sales to hold local referendums. Although fines for violations exist, enforcement is inconsistent across Bergen County. For instance, at the American Dream Mall, stores operate on Sundays, whereas in Paramus, strict enforcement keeps most shops in the Paramus Mall closed. The Paramus Mall is likely closed on Sundays to reduce Sunday traffic on routes 4 and 17. Number 20. Under Title 11, Section 1325A in Delaware, it's illegal to barter dog or cat hair. Enacted in 2000, the law was designed to protect animals from potential abuse. Violations are classified as a Class B misdemeanor, with penalties including up to 6 months in jail and fines up to $1,150 and restitution. While there are no widely reported cases of individuals penalized for this law, it seems that on Etsy, Dog and cat hair is sold for memorial purposes and also witchcraft. There seems to be hundreds of 5-star ratings. Overall, this law underscores serious concerns about animal welfare and abuse. Thanks so much for watching.